motherfucker.
Two, 2 4 test you copy. Is this on? Can you hear me? Type 1 if you can hear me. Okay, awesome. So welcome to Ableton. Congratulations, you did it. And also, thank you so much, man. You're my 40th follower. You made it happen. Thank you. You are appreciated. I appreciate you and everything you do. So for that, I gotta drop a classic signature of mine, one of DJ's Clues Bomb. So let's give a shout out to Ray's 1967 for being the ultimate follower. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a legend, mate. All right, so you did it. You got Ableton. Great. So before we dive into anything, have you produced anything before? How long? Reese, nice to meet you, Reese. Have you produced anything before? Have you been doodling around in FL Studio or any other DAW softwares? Hello. Okay, we're on. Awesome. Well, you DJ like a open format? Are you a house DJ? Are you a trance? What's up? Do you like scratches? Are you into scratches? Vinyl records? I bought some vinyl records yesterday. Okay. Um, while you're going ahead and type, I'm gonna give a quick explanation about Ableton. Ableton is all right. No problem. No problem. I'm gonna grab my charger from my phone. So while you do that, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'm back. I hope you're back too. I hope you made it back safe and sound so I could teach you about Ableton. Shit, okay. Alright. Cool. Great. Now, Ableton is great. You can customize it. This is a preset I have. So essentially when you open it, it is going to look like this. This is the session view, and then when you click tab, oh, you're sweet, man. You're sweet. Give a round of applause for yourself, bro. But anyways, yes. So this is the session view. A lot of producers like to create this in this way. I like to use this way, the arrangement. I'm more visual of a person, so I like to, I'll explain my methods later, but just kind of like a brief overlay. So essentially the way you switch back and forth, and open Ableton on your laptop too, so you can follow along, so it won't be that confusing. Ableton's automatically going to open up here, but you could change the settings over on preferences. You just go to look and feel, and you could change the color, customize it, have fun. And then when you find a way, a comfortable way after a few months, a few years of using Ableton, you could save current as default, and then it will just kind of create the version that you have automatically every time you open it up. So from session view, we click tab, and it shows arrangement view. And now let's get into the Ableton part. Ableton has a lot of great sounds built in, a lot of great synths, a lot of great bass, drums. I work a lot in the box if you catch a lot of my streams. As of recently, I've been branching out into more third-party plugins just because I'm really enjoying analog sounds and the warmth of it, and just been doing my homework on like engineering and mixing. So, you know, it's just kind of giving a homage on the old school way of producing. But you don't have to freak out and be like, oh my God, I need to get this. Oh, I need to do that. Dude, in all honesty, I've worked in the box for literally my entire music life, which is forever. And it's great because you start developing your own sound, and that's what you want. Your own sound, your own taste. And when people hear your music, regardless if it's hip hop, house, trance, whatever, they automatically think, oh, this is your stuff. Even when it's not. That's how you know you're making a difference. So the sounds, it's pretty straightforward. We got some ambient, some bass, some brass effects, guitars, mallets, pads, percussive, piano, strings, keys, lead, miscellaneous, rhythm, voices, and winds. And so let's say you want to start on the drums. That's what I like to do. And as well, I kind of have it organized to drums, bass effects, synths, blah, blah, blah. And that's the great thing about Ableton. You could do that. So anyways, let's start with something classic, the 808. And down here on the top left-hand side, you have your BPM. When you open up Ableton, I think it should be at 120, but I like to keep it at 100 because I like to produce on a slower tempo and then just kind of build it up as I go. And these are your time signatures for your song. 4/4 is usually the basic, but you could change it however you want. Go crazy, experiment, do some jazzy stuff. And then this is your metronome. And then when you click this arrow button down, count in is the little count in right before you click record. You could set it to a bar, 2 bars, or 4 bars, or you could take it off. And then these are just the sounds of the metronome. I like to have it on click or wood. Classics is okay. And then the rhythm is just going to follow the rhythm of the music that you're creating, or you can have the metronome hit on every bar, half a bar, half a triplet of the bar, a quarter, triplet, eighths, 8 triplets, 16 triplets. So it's a fun way, to write music, experiment, have fun. So anyways, so let's say you just want to start on the drums, right? And let's go nothing too crazy. 86, 84, right? That's a chilling tempo. More of a techno trance guy. Yeah, cool. Even better. So this is a little tip I'm gonna show you what I like to do in my production. I like to start slow on the BPM, and as well when you right click on the grid, you could change the format of Ableton. So narrow is usually the basic, and narrow is just gonna be how you see the lines, and then widest you just kind of see it change to wide. Narrowest, it's very minimal, but you can see the lines getting shorter, wider, bigger, whatever. And then fixed grid is okay. I just want to record 4 bars, so it automatically gives you a 4 bar right here. This is every 4 bars. Or you want to record a little bit longer. This is 8 bars. Same thing, 2 bars, a half a bar, so forth and so forth. And so let's just create a 4 bar loop, which is right here. Go to the 5. And then you just kind of draw that in. And then to insert a MIDI clip, I'm on a Mac, so you just click Command-Shift-M. And as well, that's a shortcut. But as well, if you right-click it, it will show here. So once you highlight, you right-click, and then it should say Insert MIDI Clip. So it will create this clip. And now you have all the sounds on the 808 drum machine. Exciting. So, we're going to use B for boy, and it's going to come out as his pencil. So you could draw things in. And then this is the preview headset, so you could hear the sound as you're inputting them, or you could have it off and you won't hear anything as you click. See? And then when you have it on, you can hear it. So let's just create a nice simple groove on 1/16. So now, here's the thing. When you change in here, it only change in the MIDI clip. It won't change on the outside arrangement. See, this is the same. So on the inside of the MIDI clip, I changed it to 1/16. So everything's here on the grid is 1/16. So let's start with something simple. A kick on the 1 and a snare on the 2. And then we go over here, and this is pretty much the dial effects of the drum kit. And it applies to everything, from the kick to the cowbell to everything. All this here affects everything here. And then each thing will show you the window of the sample that you're working with. And you can mute each individual sound or solo. So since I have this, let's just say, I don't want to hear the kick. That's what's up, man. I'm here to help. I'm happy that you're catching along. Also, as well, let me know if I'm going too fast or if I missed something. I'm more than helping rewind and try to get you clear. I don't like to oversaturate things, just straight to the point. So anyways, let's just say as you're building this groove, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to hear the kick in this anymore. On the individual channel, you could click mute, and now the kick is mute. No, by all means, you're not distracting me or delaying me. This helps me to explain myself better. I'm terrible at explanations. You're helping me to help you. I help you. I help me to help you. You help me. We're all helping each other. No need to say sorry or anything. I enjoy this. This is what I love to do. So by all means. So anyways, you have this groove and you're like, okay, I'm tired with the kick, so let's have it muted. Or let's just say, I really like how that kick sounds, but you know what? It's bothering me with the other what I have. So you could click solo on the S and it's only going to play what you have. And now let's just say, okay, now I'm not sure if you're aware of synthesis or anything like that. Essentially, you're going to see this in everything regarding to synths, to everything. So don't be afraid. Now, the attack, what does it mean? The attack is from the millisecond of something that's being played. think of it as the piano, right? So let's pull up a piano real quick. Not that, that's terrible. Or the Rhodes, it doesn't matter. You hear when you hit a piano key, it's the first millisecond. It's right on the thing. Right? Well, there. So what the attack does, let's bring in more visual. So what the attack would do is instead of hitting on that quick millisecond, if you open it up, it's going to start being delayed a little bit from the initial hit of the keyboard to what it sounds. So as the more the attack you open, now it kind of turns into like a string sound, because it's taking that long for that sound to reach. You see how it's kind of like a little string is just, think of it like a violin player. It's not when they move on the violin, it doesn't hit right away. So it takes some time for you to hear that sound. And that applies on the same thing on the kick. It's right on the one, so when you hear it, it's going to hit right away. But let's say I want to move it up and not hit it right on the one, but just kind of have it open, or kind of think of the attack as like as you're talking. You don't, or like a choir, you want it to kind of build up like, something like that. So we just move the attack up, so you're going to hear it delayed. Oh, I had it wrong, sorry. So you're going to hear it delayed. So it's kind of like, so now it's turned into like a sub in a way. And now with the decay, I think of it like the emphasis of the bass in the sound that you're wanting. So if the attack is giving you from that millisecond of where you're going, the decay is going to give emphasis on how much you want. So let's say on this kick, you're going to hear a lot more boom on the bass, more fatness. And now sustain is how long that note is being played out for. Like on a piano, when you use a sustain pedal, when you hit it, when you play the piano, you're going to hear it being delayed, like it's being echoed out, So let me turn on the piano so you can hear it. So now when I hit the keys on the sustain pedal, I let go of my hand, but you hear it tail off. Now let's hear it without the sustain pedal. You see how it just cuts off right away the moment I let go of my hand. Now sustain pedal with it on. So sustain, regardless of what you're using it for, is that delay time, how much you want it from. And then the release is just the tail from the sustain, from the tail end of the sound. So a shorter release is just, with a long sustain, is just going to sound like this. Like very kick. Like it's just going to come in and come out. And then sustain, I just want to just a little bit, just a little bit. I don't want it to tail off too much because it has a lot of low end. So every time you're going to see that, think of it like that. And then the volume is just the volume of the one shot that you're using. Yeah, all my streams are recorded. If you want to find more old streams, you can follow me on YouTube. Shout out. Just look around my page somewhere in the bottom, throughout the about. Just have fun, click links. You can find my SoundCloud. I release new music every Friday for free downloads. I produce like house music, micro house. No problem, bruv. No problem, bruv. This is what we do, mate. This is what we do. We get better. I love to see people win. So, anyways, every time you see Attack the Case of saying, doesn't matter from where, it could be on this modular synth right over here. It's going to look scary, but don't worry. See, it's going to be here on this envelope, on the envelope. It all means the same thing. And then these cables, you're just patching different sounds, but we'll get to that later. No need to rush. So yeah, this is Ableton. And then once you have the clip in, and you're like, okay, and then as well, here, we're going to see at the bottom, this is the volume, the velocity of each MIDI clip. So you see it's all the way at 100. So let's just say I want to lower this a little bit. You know what? Instead of using the 808, I'm going to put in the 909 so my sub doesn't go crazy. So yeah, the velocity is how much volume is in each clip. So let's just say on this kick, I don't want to hit right away. I just want to lower it and not be so subtle. So just bring down the volume. And it tells you right there. It's at 105, 96, 92, 87, whatever the case may be. So you just lower it. And you see how the second kick is really high because the volume's really up. So you're like, okay, let's just lower that down. And since this is, you know, programming in sounds, this is how you could create more of a human feel by tweaking the velocity going up and down. Because when you play on a drum kit, you're not, or playing an instrument, you're not hitting the same note the same way every time, even if it is literally the same key or the same note over and over. Each hit is going to be different. It's just the human nature. It's just how we play. It's just natural. So just lower the snare, and then on the last snare, you know what, let's just lower it really much, a lot. And then let's just open up, and it's still on 116. I did not change this grid, so it's still on 116. So you see a count, bright, bright, dark, bright, dark. And then let's just place in the hats, right? That's a kick. And you see all the velocities up. So let's just bring it down a little bit. And to give it more of a human feel, let's just count on the 1 and the 3. So lower this hat, right, where the kick is, a little bit lower. And then this one could be more emphasized. And then on the snare, bring it down in between, you know, to hear it. And then on the snare, same thing. Boom. So let's just say I don't want to keep drawing every single thing in over and over. It's pretty time consuming, right? We want to work quick. I got the idea right now. I can't wait. So this is what you do. You just highlight it, capiche, and then you duplicate, Command D, and it just carries it over. Sometimes when you go ahead and do that, it may be a bit off. So once everything is highlighted, no need to worry or stress. You click Command, you just right click, and it's going to bring the quantize. So quantize just means it puts it on the grid and gives more of a robotic feel. Or let's just say you want more of a swing on your drums. So we go to quantize settings, and then you change the grid on how the quantize is being count, from a quarter to eighth, triple eighth. And then this is a cool little thing. It's both. So it's like 1/8 and 1 triplets, 116, 116 triplets, 116, 1 triplets, 116 triplets, and then 132. So let's do 116, and then this is and then adjust note from the start of the clip towards the end. I like to have it both so it highlights everything. Some people's, everyone's different preference. And then the amount, let's just say 80%. I want 80% quantized on my clip. So you say okay. And you can kind of see it being more on time or delayed on time to give it a groove feel, right? So when we go back to quantize settings, let's just say 43. You're going to notice the clip be either changed dramatically or not so dramatically. yeah, so you see the over here, and then let's just bring it down a little bit more. And let's just say you just want to just use this 2 bars, and then you just highlight the clip, duplicate it, and then you just highlight that, because it's now, instead of having it one as clip, it's 2 clips split. But instead of having split clips, you could just highlight them and then click Command J, and it'll consolidate, which means it will turn into a brand new clip. It will just be one. So you see how this is split off, and this is showing me the second half. So once you make it one, boom, it's one. And you're like, cool, that's a cool groove, right? Now, this is maybe a little too advanced, but again, you know, it's a little secret just between you and I. Me personally, I like chopped and screwed music. I really like, you know, that real grimy stuff. So if you go over here, this is essentially the pitch of the track. If you click this button, it's going to extend it because it's pitched down. Do it again, it's going to keep stretching it out. And now let's just say it goes back to this one, right? And then you could put it back up to speed on this 2. Left-hand side 2 re-picks it up to speed, and then the right-hand side kind of slows things down. So that's on tempo, and then this is on half a beat. And then the cool thing is, from 184, if you pitch it up just to 124, it really picks up the groove. But it still has that slow pitch down effect, but it's on beat now. And yeah, you could just go ahead, go crazy, pitch it up and down on the tempo. Okay. So let's say that's what you did on your groove, and you're like, wow, that was really cool. Now I'm ready to play some chords, add some actual music. Now, when you're using a MIDI clip or a MIDI piano, like I have here, and you want to record something, or you're playing and you can't hear it, make sure that this button's turned on, the red button. Whatever MIDI that you're playing, it could be an instrument, a bass, drums, whatever the case may be, you could click this button and it'll play that MIDI session. Now, again, this is going to be a little advanced tip, but still, you know, you're a playboy and you do playboy things. Let's say you like that Rhodes. For MIDI keyboard, I have this piano back here. It's just, I could also use it as a MIDI if I wanted to really play out some sounds in Ableton. This one is real cool. It's just 25 keys. It took me a while to get comfortable, but I really like it because it's quick, to the point. But either or, I play this more when I just want to jam and like play with both hands. But yeah, I could also connect this into a MIDI. It has a MIDI port. You just look at the settings when you're buying things. But I had got this as a great deal a few years ago, and then it's by Arturia, and they come with this series called Analog Lab, which is essentially all these synthesizers that are like famous. You know, the Juno, Mini Prophet, OBX, literally. It comes with all these sounds. Pigment is like crazy, like Pigment is essentially like different sounds like blended in together. But yeah, you have a upright piano, you have some Rhodes. Like this is a great, and it comes in with this software, so it's a great bundle to look into. This is the Arturia Mini Lab 2. It's a Mini Lab 2. You can find it like on Sweetwater, Novation. Yeah, any MIDI is great. You know, just whatever fits comfortably. I personally love like old school synthesizers and stuff like that, so I really wanted the Analog Lab series, so I just got Arturia. But any MIDI clip, any MIDI, to be honest, works fine. So that's not a problem. But anyways, let's say you're recording these Rhodes and you found some chords that you like, but you want to get a little crazy, right? You want to get a little crazy, and you're like, man, maybe those Rhodes would sound really good with, I don't know, like this lo-fi piano. But I don't want to record one and then record it again. This is what you do, my friend. You see how this is red? You just click Command and then click this. Now, both MIDI channels are being recorded at the same time. Crazy, right? And it records it. It records both at the same time, so you don't have to record one. Oh, how did I do that? Oh, that was a cool thing. Oh, I'm not sure if I did. And here's the other thing, too. Let's say you're just jamming and not really recording. You're just trying to find the sounds. Ableton, low-key, always records you, but not in a weird CIA way. Just in a cool, friendly way. Like, hey, remember that thing you forgot how to play? Here it is. So you click this little button, and it'll show the things that previously that you're playing. Even if you're messing around, even if you thought you were recording, Ableton always has you covered. So you just click that little box area and you're set. I don't know what this does. I'm not that deep into it, but I'm sure I could look up into it. But yeah, that's a cool little trick. See, click it, boom. What I just played is there. So about synthesizers. Wavetable is an FM synth. FM synthesis is pretty much, you could recreate sounds from literally everything, from a kick drum to a snare to hi-hat to a pad to pluck sounds to everything. So with this, everything from left to right is being affected. Now this is the sine wave of the wave, and then you could just open it and see, same thing over here, friend. Attack, decay, sustain, release. I don't want it right on the money. I want that thing to be like a string, so open up the attack more. And also this is the initial attack, so you could blend it in, lower it down. You see how it kind of let me pause this. And you're like, oh, let's bring in the decay so it doesn't take that long to boom. It just kind of boom and just straight to a port. So you shorten it. You see how it's boom. And sustain is the tail of it. And then the release. And now voices. Synthesizers are just replicas of the human voice. 3 voices, think of it as 3 people singing something. And you can rise it. Let's have 5 people singing this. 6, 7. And then this is just the amount of how much you want. And then let's open this up. If you don't have a MIDI keyboard, you could use your actual keyboard here. Let me show you. So if you're just using the actual like keyboard, I'm just hitting the A button on my key and the C note's being played. I hit the S button and the D is being played. I play the D button, E's being played. I play the R on the keyboard, nothing plays. I play the T, F sharp plays. I play F, F plays. So even if you don't have a MIDI keyboard at all, you could just mess around. Just like that. But I would recommend getting an actual keyboard, learn a little bit about music theory. It may take a minute, but that's okay. You know, it's just going to get you better as a producer and a musician. And yeah, even if you don't have any equipment at all, it's just your laptop or computer, you can still make music. If not, you could draw it in too. Let's just say, let's do a quarter. So you draw that in, and you draw this in, and you draw that in, and there you have a C major chord. And then you stretch it just for a whole bar. And then it stops. Or let's just play, you know, just a half a bar, and then it just plays it there. And then you could just draw it in however you feel. And do same thing like on the kit. You could just change the grid on it. Let's just play 1/16th of a note. So you see the grid change to 1/16. So it's quick, boom, and then click Command D to duplicate it. So we'll bring it over. Command D to duplicate. Do that. So there's literally no excuse, my friend. Literally none. Zip. Nada. And so let's get into synthesis, like creating sound design. Let's just say I want this basic sign right here. But let's stretch this out so it plays a little bit longer. And what I'm doing here is I'm cutting the MIDI clip. So it's just playing that bar, and then again duplicating. With overtime you'll learn the shortcuts. So boom, it becomes one new clip and it restarts here. Now let's dive into sound design a little bit. So this is just your basic sound wave. And classic, how I learned this, just over time. Literally over time, watching YouTube videos. My friends are also producers, so going over each other's houses and being like, oh, how'd you do that? What you do? And trial and error, you know, not so much trial and error, but just you mess around. You have happy accidents. You just, and as well listening to music that you love too, and producers that you listen to, or DJs, and you're like, oh damn, how they do that? And you know, the one way how you get sound is not necessarily the only way. How long I've been producing, like full time, like legitimately, like 3 years, I would say 3-4 years. I've always been producing since high school. I started on FL, and then my friends had Ableton, so they all bullied me to get Ableton. And then I was just messing around because I got into music through DJing first. So I was just messing around Ableton to making edits, like mashups and stuff like that. I wasn't really producing, but I was always messing around on the software. And then I'll say like around 2017, I really started picking up. And then I kind of stopped completely for like a year producing, and I just picked up the keyboard. Just wanted to learn music theory. I wanted to learn how a group of strangers could be in the same room, but they all look at each other and say G major and count on the 3, and then all of a sudden they're talking. So I started diving into more music theory, playing, not producing anything at all, and just learning how to play songs, just learning, period, from scratch. And then and then kind of diving into more mixing and mastering stuff, because once I was getting better at playing instruments, I was like, oh wait, I could just do this on Ableton. So it's always been gradually, but I've been essentially been producing and making music all my life, so it's always been on and off. But I'll say within the past year, I really been producing a lot. Just been releasing music every Friday for free downloads on my SoundCloud page. That's been a lot of fun. I'm working on an EP that I'll be releasing in June on Bandcamp. And yeah, dude, this is something I love, to be honest. And, I always wanted to have music in my life. I just didn't know how. And I was just like, you know what? Like, this is what it is. Like, I don't care if I'm selling out Madison Square Garden. I don't care any about that shit, to be honest. Because that's it's just, that's what I know I could do on the outside source. Like, but internally, I just love it too much. I could be the most depressed in my life or the most happiest. Like, this is what I just do. This is what I just care about. I don't give a fuck about anything else. I really don't, besides music, So for the longest time, I just didn't care about the outwardness. So I always kept making music for myself and sharing it with friends, but I never cared about the outside world. And so, yeah, this is what I love. And so I've been really releasing my own music for the past year, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm happy to see it get supported and all that stuff, but that's another conversation. So anyways, FM synthesis. This is your basic sine wave for everything. That's pretty much every single sound. And then this is the sub. And then you could have the octave on the same level, lower it by 2, have it by 1, and then you could transpose it. And then the tone of it. And so that's just the sub of the sound. But let's say I don't want the sub, so I have that off. And then this is just the volume of the sound. And then C means center. So let's say I want to pan it to the left. You're going to see it come out towards the left now. Or let's say I want to pan it towards the right. Only the right hand side comes out. But center. And then basic is essentially sounds that you could dive into, going crazy, but that's with time. And then the effects is have it classic, FM, or modern. I don't really know much about this area. I kind of do, but not too much to explain it. But when you have it on, this turns on. So the FM, you could tune it and add the amount to it. And you see the sine wave literally change. And then you could detune, and then you could pitch it up here, or have it detuned, and then open it up. And then this side over here, this is essentially the same thing, but it's just a different format of viewing the sound. And then this is just you changing the initial preset of the sound. So let's say you like that. And then you come over here and this is a filter. So it's filtering whatever you want to do, right? So you just close it in, cut in the highs. And then the resonance, you bring up the filter. So you have some of the high end there. So this is the channel 1 filter. And then you could change the way of the filter here. So this is cutting the highs, this is cutting the lows, this is like a bypass, this is like in the center, this is another way. So what the sound is doing is coming in from here, and then it kind of dips, and it cuts the frequencies from here, and it reopens back there. That's all what the filter does. That's all it is. It's essentially, you're just adjusting the volume. Hello. You're essentially adjusting the sound of the volume and what you want to hear from that sound. Now, let's just have it on cut in the highs, so it's just going to be low. It's going to sound like underwater. And this over here is filter number 2. So let's say I want to cut in the highs, but cut in a little bit of the lows and boost it a little bit. So now whatever it's being cut out is being cut out, it's being cut out, but this is what's being played, essentially, is in here. Right? So let's say instead of like doing this and recording, you could do that, you can. But if you go over here to Matrix, this is essentially, you're doing the automation. You're telling Wavetable what you want to do. So you highlight the frequency, filter 1 frequency right here. And let's say I just want to cut it. Every time it's being hit, I just want it to cut it by 19. I want it cut off 19% of the high frequencies. So now you're going to see it's being moved by itself. But since this is being stretched out, every time it's being replayed, it's going to do that. So let's just hit it on every bar, right? Let's go back. You'll see it here. So you're just telling I want to cut it 19, or let's say, you know what, instead of cutting it down, let's rise it up. I want more of the higher frequencies every time it's being replayed. So let's boost it up by 36 or 38. I'm blind. So the matrix is just what you're telling the program what to do. And the same thing for filter 2. I want to cut in the lows, so you lower it down, or so now you see it's being widened. And now LFO, what LFO does, and as well you can see it here on the drum kit. You'll see LFO. What is that? LFO is that real cool sound where you can get the sound going from one, and the more you pitch or more change the envelope of it, it goes one, you know, it does all that crazy cool stuff. So, example. That's all what the LFO is doing. So you can visually see it on the hi-hat. We turn it on. Now we're working on the drum kit, right? You click controls, and this is what the LFO is doing. Every time the hi-hat is being played, LFO is just going up and down, in and out. Click S to solo, so we're only listening to the hi-hat. You kind of just hear it. And then the more you boost it, it just does that. Very subtle. And then the attack, instead of having it on the 1, let's just bounce it up a little bit. And then offset is essentially being off time. That's all it is doing. So instead of being in synchronized, let's just move it a little bit. Now you're seeing the LFO move around. And then the key, I'm not sure what the key it does, but yeah. And then the volume, this is all the adjustments for the LFO. The volume of it, how much you want, panning of it, if it's going left and right, how much of the it, and then the pitch of the sound. And the same thing, I don't want that hi-hat to hit right on the 1. I want to stretch it out a little bit, have it more or less of an impact on the 1. Or I want more of the hi-hat to come in through the mix, so I want more decay to open it. Same thing. I don't want it too much of the tail. I just kind of want the hi-hat to hit in and come out. and then the tail end of it. And same thing. Everything is just rinse and repeat for different formats, from a kick to a snare to a hi-hat to a bass to synth to everything. Everything is rinse and repeat, and everything is preference and what you want. There's no right, or there is right and wrong ways, but that's more the science behind it, and that's when you just get more. Yeah, there's countless ways to start a track. There's countless ways to recreate sound. I mean, to be honest, dude, music is nowhere near Einstein of Ableton. No, I'm nothing of an Einstein. Thank you though. But yeah, dude, like music is nowhere near peak of what we think it is or the capabilities of it. Like music, you had to go to a time and a place, and that was it. You had to see Mozart play for like an hour, and that was it. And if you remember, you remember. If you didn't, you didn't. Dude, now we're making music on our phones. You have GarageBand on your iPhone. You have other DAW softwares on an Android. Like, there's no excuse. Like, it's amazing, to be honest. We're nowhere near anything with music related. Like, boundaries have only been started, you know. And when you think about like music in the 50s and all these engineers, and let's just talk about the Beatles for a second. You know, they're introduced and they're like, hey, don't do this in the studio. You can only do this way. Like, there was a certain ways. But the more rules were broken, the more genres were being created, more ideas were being spun out. There's a Beatle record where John accidentally had the feedback from the guitar from the pickup hitting the amp, and it gave that feedback sound. Like, that wasn't thought of before. That was a no, you know? Like, the more you dive into history on music and engineers and all that, and you realize what you have in front of you, regardless if it's Ableton, Logic, FL, Reaper, literally doesn't matter what software you use. It's all the same thing. It's literally all the same thing. They just have different shortcuts or just formatted. But it's like, once you truly internalize that, you're like, oh my God, like, this is unfathomable. But everything in all this and everything you do is just rinse and repeat. I want this hi-hat to come in. I want it to delay more. I like this key sound, blah, blah, blah. But everyone has different approach to make music. And then it's the same thing. I want to transpose a hat. Detune it. Glide. You know, spread the panning a little bit, add volume. And this is velocity versus volume. How much is it being played versus how much you hear? And then the panning. And then this is just tweaking the sound of the hi-hat. And then this is the filter of it. This is a clean. So this is an overdrive to add more like distortion in this. The only time I do a course on Ableton is when amazing people like yourself come into the chat and ask questions. Course of people to pay, I wouldn't feel comfortable people to pay, because I'm really learning a lot myself. Like, I got into music through DJing and stuff like that, so sampling and hip hop was like a huge influence of mine. So I kind of see it like like how I started making music was like in the art form of sampling. It's like you have a canvas already, but I was able to rearrange that canvas. Like, if you introduced me to Mona Lisa, I would have been like, that's cool, but let's do it this way. Now I'm reaching a point where I've done sampling and loops majority of my music production, where I could create the sounds organically. I'm not looking for sample packs or this and that. Now once I'm able to think of that sound and do it organically, it's like best of both worlds. I mean, it's what we do, player. It's what we do. Save your money, spend on something else, buy yourself equipment. I'd much rather you do that than give this old bozo $2. But I'm gonna show you sampling too, in crazy ways what we could do. But this is just kind of like introduction when you want to do things yourself organically. Water is very important. So yeah. All right. So this is essentially, creating organic sounds. You can have an idea about synths, and then all this is just changing the preset sounds. That's all it is. Hey, you're a trooper, bro. You're a trooper. I'm in Miami, so right now it's 7:39 p.m. New York Eastern time. But you're a trooper. I gotta drop a clues bomb for you, bro. I gotta give you a bomb right now. So let's get into sampling, and this is what I love. This is what I started making music for. Yeah, Miami is unreal. Okay. What's a good sample pack? Here, samples. Alright. Now in Ableton, when you go to audio effects, where is it? S. No. It's in instruments, sorry. Instruments is where you'll find, this is all MIDI stuff, so analog is analog synths, all this. A drum rack is essentially an empty, think of it like drum machines that we have here. You see how these pads are here? You're able to create your own drum rack and bring in your own one-shots, but I'll show you that briefly. So to sample something from a song, you could either use sampler or simpler. Now the difference between sampler and simpler is just easier. Wink face. Haha. It's pretty much the same thing, but I always use simpler. So let's say you got a sample and you like it and you drag and drop it into here. Whatever the case may be, right? You play it. You drag it over here, and then you're going to click this button here, and it's going to say slice. Now let's go to our keyboard, or even our computer keyboard. Again, dude, there's no excuse. Yeah, you could get the songs on YouTube. This is a folder that I had that brought in the samples, but we're just, whatever you... Yeah, just you could download anything. A little secret I like is this Google Chrome extension called Sample, where you're able to just, whatever's being played, you could click record and it records that sample, and then you just drag and drop into Ableton or whatever software. Instead of converting a whole thing on a YouTube converter, yada yada, you could just do that. It's a great extension. So let's just say that you have this sample, you really like it, you want to make a song off of it. And then once it's in simpler, you could drag it to slice. Now slice is these little blue bars, and it's being picked up. Now, you're going to go over here by transient, and you're going to click beat. Now it's cut up to every quarter. It's chopped up. Every quarter of a song is chopped up, and then you could chop it up even more. Instead of a quarter, it's a half or a bar. So you got a whole sampler. But let's just do it by 1/16. So it's just all this over here. Or 1/8, however. So let's just chop up real quick. That's pretty cool, so let's record it. forgot I had this on. And let's have it on the beat. So let's put it 100. Oh, and also, let's say you're just playing something, but you don't know what the tempo is. On Ableton, if you click tap on with like the mouse to a beat, Ableton will do that tempo that you're clicking on. So my finger went at 96, so let's just play at that. Oops, forgot that I had that. So there, you got a little Chapo sample. Now this is another tip that's a little advanced, but still gonna help you in the long run. You see this over here, this little number, it's all CPU and how much your computer is willing to take while you're running multiple things. When you have a project and you have a lot of meaty, your computer could have a heart attack. And now it doesn't process as much if you're using audio effects. I mean, not audio effects, but audio one-shots, right? So you open up a new channel, and you do that by right-clicking it, and then it just opens a new channel. Right-click, and you can insert audio or MIDI or return. I'll get to what return is in a second. But we have this audio, right? Now, if you click here, oh, by the way, make sure these are on. If not, it will make a difference. If this is turned off, you won't see that. If this is turned off, you won't see the returns. If this is off, you won't see that. So just make sure these three things are turned on, right? Now, let's say your computer's having a heart attack and you really want to get this song in and blah, 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 whatever the case may be. You click from exit in and you go to the channel. This is all the channels that you have open. Everything that Ableton's reading. So you go to your sampler channel. You click the red button. You turn this in, and then it turns blue, and you turn this off. Why? I'm going to tell you now. Now you click back. You go to the beginning. Click record. Whoa, what did we just do here? Instead of having that sample being played on this MIDI clip, you click auto, now it turns on the clip. Now guess what? The same thing you just played, it turned into an audio clip right here. Boom. Now you're able to continue producing and have a great time, and your laptop loves you even more because it's not having a heart attack. It's able to control, it's able to read things better, and then it's not taking as much CPU power. Now, another thing too, once you have a MIDI clip turned into an audio, we're going to click right click, and you're going to see freeze track. Freeze track is literally just that. It's going to freeze it, and it's not going to be picked up by the CPU, and you're able to still have it there, but it's not being played. It's just frozen. Now it's blue. You can still hear it. It will still be played. But essentially, you can't play it. It's frozen. So I tend to, whenever I'm using a lot of MIDI channels, I tend to do that. Just kind of convert it into audio and then just freeze it and then just kind of throw it away. Not throw it away, but just kind of have it up and out of my session so it's a lot cleaner. So now you have this new channel. And as well, what this is panning it left, panning it right, having it in the center. And now what are these? Again, you could customize it on the initial preset of Ableton. It should have a delay, reverb. It should be like 2 or 3 channels. Return channels. Instead of, all right, now we're going to get to the style of mixing and all that, right? Now we're going to that realm. So we're going to click S. It's going to solo. And we're It's going to solo. Sorry, I need to solo my mic too. I forgot. So now we're here, right? We're gonna mix this down. I'm gonna just have it on the bar, and then Command L. Oh, and by the way, this is your loop. Whatever this is, whatever's inside here, this box, it's gonna be looped. Doesn't matter what the loop length is, it's always gonna be loop. This little box just means loop. And if you have it off, it's going to play out of the loop because it's not being looped, right? So now we have it looped. We have it here. We have it on. So we could constantly hear, and we don't have to click back and forth, back and forth. My main camera is about to die, so I'm going to turn on my webcam right now. Hello. Hello, hello. Now I'm over here. All right, anyways. Now we're getting into mixing, right? So an EQ 8 is not that scary. It's literally a really, really smart device of a volume. Everything you need to know is in here. Now, this is your low end. So anything around these hertz, think of it as your kick, your sub bass, anything on the lower frequency sounding, right, is going to be played here. Now, this here is like your mid. So synthesizers, some percussion, claps, anything like that is going to be around here. And then this is your high end. So your hi-hat cymbals, anything very bright and loud, high-pitched synth, vocals, anything like that. Now, this is just an EQ band. And what it is you could adjust it. And this is the sound from the sample that we're getting, right? And then this is just the ways to use the EQ band. So we're just cutting it by fourth, and it takes off all the low end. Right. So let's just take out the bass of it. Again, this is going to tie into the return channels in a brief second. So let's just say you have that, right? And you like that, how it sounds. So you want to boost it. And you want to get it a little bit louder because you realize in the mix it's not as punchy as you thought it would. Now, side note, everything you lay down in the audio effects, regardless if it's EQ compressor, this another EQ, which is just these two are literally the same, but this one is just more simple. You're just cutting in the low end, the mid, the highs, and then this is just more in detail of how many hertz you want to cut. But these two are the same, right? Again, everything you're going to see and do is just rinse and repeat in just different ways. And then channel EQ, same thing. Cuts the band here, lowers it, rises it, high, low, whatever the case may be. It's nothing scary. Now, this is very, very important. Why? However you place in your audio effects is being read. So I like to go EQ and compressor and then whatever I want to add to give flavor to the track. Think of mixing like you're a sculptor, right? And your music and whatever you have on Ableton is the sculpture that you're getting. An EQ is just a very fancy way of getting volumes. So you're just chipping away of what you want from your sculpture. And then the compressor, you're just emphasizing on what you want to really bring out, or you're emphasizing on what you want to lower. That's all we're doing. And how you place it really matters. So if you're going compressor first and then EQ, you're compressing you're compressing the audio, and then whatever coming in after, you're adjusting the EQ. So however effect channel rack you're doing really affects the sound. I didn't know that for the longest time. I was just kind of throwing things to throw things. And then I learned, oh wait, it counts on what you're doing. Right. So in EQ, we just cut in the low ends. Now the ratio on the compressor is how much you're boosting. There was a video I saw that explains it. It was like 263. Think of it as like how much you're boosting, the ratio of it. I want more of it or I want less of it. And the attack, same thing that I mentioned straight from the beginning, from a piano sound. Do I want it to hit initially, or do I want it to space it out and slowly bring it in? And the same thing at the release. Do I want it to go on forever, or do I just want it to cut in just a little bit, right? And then this is the sound. Right? No, man. I appreciate you for tuning in and asking questions. And as well, just you can add me on Discord too, if you have Discord. I'll drop my username now. So this is just the signal from the sound and how much you're boosting, right? And this is another way where you can sidechain, where you get that ducking sound. This is where it comes from, or all that stuff. I don't know how subbing works or donation works because I'm such a small streamer. I don't really think about all that stuff. I just want people to check out my music. If you like, here, friend. If you feel so generous, I have an EP. It's called Cycles. All the donations is going to Hope for Ukraine. So it's a great cause. It's great music. Everyone's happy. Again, I'm a new streamer, so I'm not really thinking about donations or anything like that. I just want people to tune in and have fun and jam, I think if you come into that mindset automatically, it kind of, I don't know, it gives a bad taste. But yeah, if you really feel super generous, you can support me there. And just follow my socials, man, to be honest. So yeah. Here we are, compressors. Peak. What peak is, think of it, the signal of how something, like how much of the loudness you want to be lowered, and then RMS is how much you want the lowerness to be loud. And expand, I haven't really fought. What's my SoundCloud? Here, I got you, brody. And expand, I'm not really 100% sure what it is, but I'm guessing it's just gonna be self-explanatory, expanding the sound, but I think that's like too dumb. But anyways, yeah, that's essentially what it is. Also, it's free music on my SoundCloud, bro. Every Friday there's a brand new track, so you can add it to your set list. And next time you're at a party, you play some crazy, unheard shit, and people's faces are gonna melt. So you can help me and support me that way. So yeah. So when you're in the compressor, RMS, again, you're bringing the low to the high, and peak, you're bringing high to the low. That's all it is, right? So now, let's say you really have that and you like that. Let's throw in some effects. A flanger. This is the positive or the negative of the sound. Dry and wet is how much of the effect is coming in. And this is a little secret I heard from like a mixing engineer that I saw like a Red Bull like panel or something. It's like scientifically known, if you have anything that's like below 30% on an effect, it's like real pleasing to the ear. So it doesn't like really distort the sounds or do whatever. And then over 30 is you're just too much wet. So if you just want something subtle, I would say just go 35, 40 max on something that's subtle effect. And then high pass is just the high frequencies of how much the effects is being taken in. The envelope here is going inward. Going inward on the envelope is like, think of it like how we did here on the filter. How much you're going in, right, to turn it in. And then envelope going up is how much you're cutting in on the highs. And here we are. Look, see, friend, same thing. Attack and release. How much I want on the initial attack. Do I want to space it out like some strings? Do I want the tail end to just come in and out? And then the amount is just this effect here. And these are your different sound waves. So this is a sine, this is a square, this is a triangle, this is something else, this is something else. I don't know what it is. I forgot their names. And then this is just like a random fucking sound that's just going to be flying everywhere. And then this is the rate of it. And then you could do by hertz, or you could do it by notes. So it would be 1/16. So it would give you that wobbly sound, that whoop, 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 whoop. Or you could do it every bar, every 2 bars, 4 bars, right? Again, remember what I said. This is all going to lead into the effects, right? And then the width is how much of like panning, and then offset of being synchronized to being unsynchronized. So you could have it going crazy. And then each thing, each sign, each shape, think of the flanger is going to go up, and then it's going to cut down right when it's being played. It goes up, and then it's just going to do a hard turn. Right? And then same thing when it does this. It's going to go up, peak up, and then it cuts down, and then it's going to peak up again. This is a square, so every time it cuts in and out, that's all what the sound is doing. It's showing you visually. And then sine is just a basic that. So, remember how I said how you lay down the effects matters on how it's being translated on the sound and all that. If you throw in a lot of crazy shit, a flanger, a delay, lights turn off, I forgot to pay. If you throw in a flanger, a delay, echo, reverb, beat, repeat, you just throw in a bunch of crazy shit. It's going to sound muddy and disgusting on the mix. If that's your intentions, great, cool. No one's stopping you. Now, let's say I just don't want that much sound on my effects channel. So we're going to send these sounds that you have here from the EQ, compressor, and flanger. I want to send this sound to a reverb. So it's my first channel. So I boost it. So now, if we listen, whatever sound is being in this channel is being sent to a reverb and back out. So it gives the appearance of a reverb. And that's the importance of the return channels. It's returning that sound that you're sending through. So on the actual effects and on the actual mix, it's a lot cleaner, and you're giving more of an ambiance, right? So let's do it on my voice. Let's add some reverb. You hear the reverb right there. No reverb. Straight to your face. Reverb. Hello, Luke. I am your father. And then decay is how much you're adding of the reverb, how big the room is. Dry and wet, all that. And you could customize it. You don't have to follow Ableton. And then delay, channel 2, how much of the delay is kicking in. And the return channels does not affect what you have on this. You're just sending those sounds being returned. And then here I have some parallel compression. So to boost up my voice, I have another one over here. And then I have some panning. So you hear me left and right slowly. Hello. And then this last channel return is distortion. So I have like compressor, a pedal. You can hear it being distorted. Now I'm Kanye West. Whoa, you hear that? That's cool, huh? Let's add reverb now. Crazy reverb. My voice is a guitar. Whoa, man, I'm God. Pretty cool, huh? So that's what the return channel does. You're just sending signals to it and it's being returned back to you on what that effect is. Um Sorry man, I'm just checking my phone real quick. Any questions, by the way? I don't know if I'm going too fast or anything like that. Please, I would love to go again and say something if you have any questions, anything at all. Yeah, it was a lot to go through, but it's pretty much the basics. Again, just have fun, dude. Really, experiment, see what's up, see what everything does. Just learn. Make music is key. Make music. Just make music. Who gives a fuck on what it is and if anyone's likes it? If as long as you like it and as long as you're the one dancing crazy in the room, that's all that matters. All that matters from the inside. Who gives a fuck if your boys like it? If all this, like, dude, screw the outside noise. And especially, you know, I get it. I DJ too, and when you hear sets, you're like, oh, I want to do something like that, or oh fuck, I need to make something like that, a banger in my sets. Just who gives a fuck, dude? Just have fun, make your own music. You know, have your own voice. You have your own brain, and you have your own organ system and everything like that. I try to sprinkle as much as I can. You want to see a best song? All right. Let me show you something. Here, this is going to inspire you. I was working on here. Let me open up the file and I'll give the backstory real quick. Okay. Hello, Tutu. I'm back. All right. Um. So, like I said, the quick backstory on this track. I was just streaming, and a viewer just like yourself was in my chat, and he sent me his song, and he's a producer, and I really liked it, and I was like, dude, send me some stems. The artist is I'm going to butcher it, but Zerk. He's a Brazilian fella. Shout out to the homie out in Brazil. Word. And he's on Ableton too. And I was like, dude, I like what you do. Let's make something. So this is from a viewer and I. He sent me some stems. It wasn't much. This is what he sent me over here. It was like some synth sounds and a kick and like some bass, but I decided to write my own bass line instead. So yeah, this is a track I have with a viewer. And let's just give it a listen. Wow, everybody, house music. Yeah, dude. So this was a lot of fun. I also made the pretty much this whole track live on stream. So the boy Arthur was there the whole time, seeing how everything came about. But all right, awesome. Let me accept. Um, but yeah, he sent me those sounds, and then um yeah, he sent me the sounds. I really liked. Yeah, I just accepted it. I'll send you a message. Yeah, he sent me those sounds. Something like the how long it took. I don't really know. It was pretty quick. I'll say. I think it's still on my Twitch. You can see the stream. I think the title's called "Hey, I'm working on my EP," and then he kind of joins midway, and we started talking, and it was kind of quick. I what I like to do on my tracks, I like to start like a 16 bar loop, and then just kind of start stretching it out. Um, in reality, for me, my music just ends at 4 minutes. A song is like 4 minutes, but and then like the other half is like the DJ aspect of it. But yeah, I like to start on like a 16 bar loop, just add everything in there, and then slowly roll it out like a piece of dough, and then you see the arrangements and this and that. But yeah, this was pretty quick, to be honest. I don't know. You could see the whole and the entire creation on stream. It's an old video on my channel. It's called "Hey, I'm Making My EP." And then he joins midway, and we started talking, and I was like, "Dude, I love what you did. Send me your stuff." So now we have this track called Paradox. But it wasn't that long. I'll say like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, the arrangement part was like another day because I just wanted the sounds first. But yeah, everything was pretty quick, to be honest. Another track that I think you will really like. I'm really happy on this one. This one's crazy. All right. It is annoying, but I kind of like. I low key haven't got pro on purpose because I kind of like the idea of just having the tracks up, and if you got them, you got them, and if you don't, sorry. It gives it more. I don't know. It keeps the lifeline of a song better because it's not oversaturated. Not everyone has it. It's like a select few. So I'm kind of doing it on purpose at this point. So it's like get it while you can. But I think you'll really like this one. This one I kind of felt iffy, but it kind of grew on me as I kept working. Let's just have a listen, and then you can let me know what you think about it. cool, dude. It's house music, man. Um, so yeah, dude. That's one that I'm currently working on. I'm really happy how this one turned out. Um, but same thing, bro. Send me something. I would love to make a track with you, regardless of how long you've been using Ableton or not. You know, have fun with it. Go bananas. So, oh, let's work on this track today. Two. Okay, let's listen to your mix.
In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove, and from this groove came the grooves of all grooves. And while one day viciously
Dude,
throwing
holy
down
shit,
on his box, Jack
19,000.
boldly declared, "Let there be house," and house
That's
music
what's up.
was born. House music is a universal language, spoken, understood.
Trying to talk, I'm nowhere near Kanye's level, but thank you, I appreciate it.
Unless you're deep into the vibe of house. House is an uncontrollable desire to jack your body. And as I told you before, this is our house and our
It's probably really good, that's why.
and every house you understand there is a keeper. And in this house the keeper is Jack. Now some of you might wonder who is Jack and what is it that Jack does? Jack is the one who gives you the power to jack your body.
I feel you. I never released music for the longest time. I've always made music behind the scenes and just gave it to friends. I have a lot of old music online. Ooh, shit. Dude, when are we gonna run a back-to-back, bro? I would love to play with you. This would be insane. I'm trying to get into more housey stuff and not so much micro.
in the ghetto. But look outside and I'm already upset, yo. It looked about 102. It's a Saturday and Biggie ain't got nothing to do. I'm interrupted by a phone ring. Sometimes I wish I never got the motherfucking thing. Hello, hello, can I speak to Biggie? Yo, who this? Tanisha, yo, call back, I'm busy. Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T, see? Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T, Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T, Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T, So all the ladies in the house, turn out. Yeah, To all the ladies in the house, turn out. Yeah, Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T, Can I get with ya? 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 Why you wanna get with me? Cause they got a big B-U-T-T. She said, if I get with you, I got to get with your whole hood rap crew. What you think I do? Sling skins for a living? My name ain't November. This ain't Thanksgiving. You ain't Michael Bivins. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Do me, baby, I ain't down. My name ain't Tupac, I don't get around. You hitting this nigga, how that sound? First of all, you got me mixed up with somebody you done slept with. Hold up, that's my unitary shit. I got something slicker. Let me just sip up on this liquor. All I wanna do is smoke a little chronic, slam you like Onyx, and get you hooked on this Biggie Smoke Phonics. 102, how to squeeze 22s in the Reebok shit. Can I get with ya? Can I get with ya?
What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Thinking, smoking, clicking, got the hook, another blunt, water, Heinrich. What's in rotation? My man Big Jock got the Glock in his face and was smoking, clicking, got the hooker thinking. If money smell bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hooker beating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's leave calm. I'm getting skins again. Rolled up another blunt, water, Heineken. Niggas about to look out, a kid got choked out, blows the stone, and a fucking spike broke down. Rolled up another blunt. Blunts in rotation, bitches in the back looking righteous. In a tight dress, I think I might just hit her with a little Biggie 101. How to tow a gun and have fun with Jamaican rum conversation. Blunts in rotation, my man Big Jock got the Glock in his waist and was smoking, clicking, got the hooker thinking. If money smell bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Bitches in the back, blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation, bitches in the back, blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation, bitches in the back, blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation, bitches in the back, blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation, we're smoking, clicking, got the hooker thinking. If money smell bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Smoking, clicking, got the hooker thinking. If money smell bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Clothes, linens and things, I begin things. People start to flash. 818s, 213s, 313s, BIG. Frequently floss holes at Roscoe's. If I want a spurter, take her to Fat Burger. Spend about a week on Venice Beach. Sipping Frisco with some freaks from Frisco. I'm going back to Cali, Cali. I'm going back to Cali, Cali.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, I gotta drop a bomb. God damn, brother. You on fire. But, fuck, dude. Alright. You got me inspired. God damn it. I gotta make some house. Nah, I'm just a bloke, bruv. I just kinda, diddle-whittle. Okay, alright. Let's talk about it. Alright, okay. I'll try and make this quick. I'll try and make a quick banger. Go and just do a quick banger. Sorry, I'm doing a terrible British impression. I'm sorry, bro. Anyways. Either way, I'm sorry. It was a terrible impression. I'm not. I'm not even going to try. Don't worry. No need. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. Check it out. 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 It's all about having fun, especially since you're coming in through DJing. You're definitely gonna just make tracks, man, and finish them. That's the key point. I want you to finish them. Doesn't matter if you're gonna release it. Fuck releasing. Fuck sending it out. Finish it. Finish it, and everything is just a muscle, and you keep working on it, and you're gonna see, wow, holy shit, it's a lot of fun. Remember, this is music. Nobody dies. This is music. Fuck the outside noise. Make what you feel. Do what you love. That's all it is, and just experiment. See what works. See what doesn't. If it doesn't, great. But yeah, man, it's all about having fun. So, yeah, I'm not going to go crazy into this. I just want to make something quick and just have you observe. And don't overthink shit. A great philosopher by the name of Kenny Beats said that. Shout out to him. But yeah, man. Have a good night. Enjoy your day at work. Listen to every kind of music. Fucking YouTube interviews. The world is in your palm, man. And it's not heavy. Trust me, it's not. And you got this, bruv. You totally got this. I got you on Discord. We're going to keep tabs. We're going to link up. We're going to make music. The world's going to know. Fuck the world. And let's just have fun, man. So I'm going to go into this song that I'm going to make. I have to download a track from my friend that we started with yesterday. So have yourself a great night. I'm going to log off. Take a little hour break. Chill. And yeah, man, have yourself a good night. I'm here. My schedule is at the bottom. I'll be in the morning having fun. If not, whatever the case may be. Have fun at work. Listen to them. Give critiques. You got me on Discord. Don't be afraid to text me. Be honest. I'm open to it. If you're like, yo, I like this, do this, whatever the case may be, good, bad, evil, whatever. I'm a grown-ass man. I could take it. And thank you for the kind words, man. It's just what it is. I love music. I love to share knowledge. There's a lot of scumbags. It's the ugly truth, but it is what it is. But I'm not Mother Teresa or trying to make a difference. I just so happen to finally turn on my webcam and let the outside world, my studio sessions, and I'm not all, it has to be secret. Oh, no one can know. I'm over that bullshit. It's the internet. And I'm happy to make a small impact regardless what it is. And any question regarding to production, anything at all, even if you just want to shoot the shit and we just crack some jokes, I'm more than to do that too, bro. But yeah, I didn't notice how long I streamed. Today was a great stream. Good job. Let's just give a round of applause to everybody and drop a bomb for everybody who tuned in and tuned out. Give yourself a round of applause. We all did it. We all did it, man. It's all love and respect here, brother. All love and respect. So, and you inspire me, man. I'm trying to grow into more of this house and stop being afraid, because this is what I love. But I always made more minimal. I'm like, no, it has to be cool. It has to be laid back and mysterious. But I'm growing out of my shell, and because of you, I'm able to bounce out, and do more of that. So I'm not afraid. So thank you. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for following and tuning in. I'll catch everybody on the flip side. And as well, just go out there and make great music, man. That's all it is. Just go out there and make great music. Remember, this is music. This is a beautiful thing. Fuck the outside noise and fuck try to get placements and all that, or try and be on. You're already on. Allow yourself to be on. Remember that. All right. That was my tech talk. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Peace.